What's good, guys? I'm back at it again with another Metaphor ReFantazio video. Today it's all about the merchant. I'm not only going to teach you how to get the merchant, but I'm also going to show you a bunch of locations in this game where you can farm for a lot of money. As you can see, I'm stacked. We got 634,000 and we're ready to go. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. If you want to skip to a certain part of the guide, feel free to check the chapter list down below. First things first, for people who don't know about it, the merchant is this guy right here. You're going to want to use the merchant for your main character. You get a hero passive that is going to allow you to get money every time you stun or defeat an enemy in overworld combat. So it's completely OP. All you have to do is go to any zone that has a bunch of enemies lined up and slap them upside the head. You get money and you're good. You can also change your other characters or your other followers in your party to different archetypes so that they can gain experience while you're doing this. So you can get a bunch of farming done all at the same time. Now I'm going to show you an example of that later on in the video, but for now let's take you over to the NPC you need to talk to in order to unlock this. Right over here outside of the magic shop is going to be Brigetta. Brigetta is one of my favorite followers in the game and she is pretty amazing. She's going to unlock the merchant class for you and she has a pretty cool storyline and a pretty amazing backstory, so getting into it is probably something you really want to try to do. The different things that she's going to unlock over time, of course, are the merchant. She will then also allow you to use the Magic Association shop so you can buy igniters and other objects from her, which are pretty amazing. You should come in here as often as possible to get some pretty cool items. She's going to reduce the price to mag exchange. She's also going to allow you to inherit more skills for your merchant. Then at level 5, you're going to get a guild discount. This is probably one of the greatest passives in the game because you will receive a discount on weapons, armor, and igniters at the shops. Well, that doesn't just stop there. If it's Idols Day, you're going to get that 20% discount on top of this, making it almost 40%. So you can really save a lot of money on some of the more expensive items. So now that you know how this all works, let's talk about how to unlock her. When you first speak to her in the beginning of the game, she doesn't even have the time of day for you. You need to get your virtues up. The one virtue that you need to talk to her in the beginning is going to be wisdom. The second virtue that you're going to need after level 5 is going to be courage. So you're going to have to get your courage all the way up to fearless, and you're going to have to get your wisdom all the way up to informed. The easiest way to get wisdom is going to be this bench right here. You can sit down at this bench during the day and at nighttime to get your wisdom up, as well as there's going to be a quest from a quest giver right over here around the corner who wants you to cook something at the Honeybee Inn. Now, if you talk to this guy right here, do his quest line, he'll give you a little bit of wisdom. With those two things in hand, you will have your wisdom up to informed, which will be pretty amazing, and you will be able to not only unlock the merchant class, but you'll also be able to go over there to the church and you'll be able to purify your weapons. Brigetta will request that you go over here to the Belega Corridor. The Belega Corridor is a very interesting dungeon. It's a lot more powerful than the actual cathedral was, so you definitely want to prepare before going in here. The boss at the end of this is level 22 and he's weak to pierce damage. If you want to get this information for yourself, however, all you have to do is go over to the Honeybee Inn and talk to the informant. When you talk to him, you can buy the information off of him and he'll be able to tell you everything else you need to know about the dungeon. However, when you go in here, make sure you have some type of pierce damaging companion so that you can take this thing out as easily as possible. And be careful, if you use a healer or a class that has a mace or a staff, you're going to send this thing into a frenzy. It is going to completely nuke you and kill you instantly, so you got to be very careful. If that's all you have, then just do your best against him, but you kind of want to throw him off balance, slap him with pierce damage as hard as possible to kind of interrupt his attacks, get some criticals in there, hit him for weakness, and take him down as fast as you can. It's an extremely difficult fight for early game, so once you get it done, congratulations on your merchant class, but until you get it done, good luck. Now that you know exactly how to unlock the merchant class, let's talk about a bunch of areas where you want to go with your newfound power. The first location that you probably want to go to farm up money is going to be the Tradia Desert. There's going to be a man-eating Mandragula here, and this thing is kind of crazy, but don't go fighting it as soon as you get there. What you actually want to do is run around and kill all the birds and kill all the little sandworms that pop out the ground. Take them out with your merchant, stack up on a bunch of levels and a bunch of money as fast as possible. Then when you have enough money, you can then take out the hounds, let it pop up, take them down, and move on. So one of my favorite locations to farm experience as well as a bunch of money in this game is probably going to be the King's Den. This is one area that's an entire zone. You can run around the zone as much as you want, knock out every single enemy in the zone. Not only will you level up extremely quickly because these monsters are pretty powerful, they're between the levels of 17 and 20. So you're going to gain levels so quickly. At first, you probably won't be able to take these things out one hit, but when you get to the point that you can, you're going to want to farm this as much as possible. If you're not going for money and you farm weaker enemies, you're not going to get that much experience. But if the enemies are closer to your experience level, you will get a bunch of experience. So just keep that in mind moving forward. At the King Imps Den, they're going to be about level 17 to 20, which is a perfect level range. Most of you are probably either around this level and or just above it, so you'll be able to one-shot these guys, stack up on a bunch of money and a bunch of levels, as well as archetype experience for your squad. The King Imps Den, once you smack down every single enemy inside the King Imps Den, go over to the cat, jump straight into Academia, and then go right back outside. Every single last one of these enemies will instantly respawn, and you repeat the process. This is probably one of my favorite places in the game to farm because it's just so efficient and so quick. Some other honorable mentions are going to be the Abandoned Tomb. There's a group of enemies that are right outside the cat's area that are just stacked on top of each other. You can run over there, slap them all up for about 8,000 to 10,000 money every single time you go over there. So slap them up, go back to the cat, repeat the process. Inside of the secret, I guess this is called the Kriegante Castle. Sorry if I butchered that. When you go inside of here, there's going to be this one area that's going to have 2 crystals. And if you stand on the bridge between these 2 crystals, you will not only be able to farm an insane amount of money, but also an amazing amount of experience. They're going to be coming at you from both angles. They're already a decently high level. As long as you don't break down the crystal, you can farm these guys up infinitely. Now, if you've already unlocked the gunner at this point, not only can you get your health back to maximum without spending a single resource, but then you can also switch over to your mage so that you can get all your MP back as well. It's a great area to farm up everything, to get back your resources, and to really stack up on your money. The Man-Eating Grotto, it's an honorable mention. I mean, you can go in there and stack up on a little bit of money, but I didn't get that much when I was in there. The place that I got the most was definitely going to be the Imps Den. In the early game, it was the Tradia Desert, and I got a decent amount from the Abandoned Tomb. Also, when you go back inside of the Catacombs, that is going to be another area that has this one zone right outside the Magla Hollow with a stack of enemies. You walk right outside the corridor, you walk over to them, slap them all upside the head, they all fall, you get about 8,200 money, and then you go back into the Magla Hollow and repeat the process. That is going to be all the early game locations that you can go to farm up a bunch of money in this game. If you like what I do here on the channel, make sure you smash that like button and sub so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and absolutely everything else from Metaphor ReFantazio. This is your boy Emma M6HD, but for now though, I'm out of here.